Hello, my friends. It's me, Karen Valentine, and here we go for part 5. It seems like these are going to take forever, but I guess since the videos are only an hour and a half long, that's why we're going to wind up with, probably, geez Louise, I don't know, 7 videos this time. That's a lot. Anyway, so I was very excited because as soon as I turned the camera off for the last video, the FedEx guy pulled up with my my replacement order from Dick Blick for my pencils, and they took the special request for extra care in packaging very seriously this time. I'm very happy to say they wow, I mean, they really they wrapped those pencils nice and tight together so they didn't clink. Then they wrapped it in bubble wrap, then they put it in box with even more bubble wrap, so it's pretty likely that my pencils are all nice and safe and sound inside their wood casings, so I'm happy about that. And we may be able to use a couple of those on this piece. So, yeah. All right, so I am going to work on this area right here. And I've got my PanPastels out, so I think I'm going to use kind of a combination of burnt sienna shade, iron oxide, and burnt sienna extra dark. Here, I'll just show you so those are my colors, and I just kind of, it's hard to tell you what I'm using because I'm really just tapping into the pans and just mixing and pulling colors as there's no formula. I'm just kind of doing it. So you can do the same thing. It does not have to be exact. You just kind of want a nice warm reddish brown tone, I think. And I could keep coming, maybe I will. I'm just gonna come in here, in here too, because this is all gonna be dark. That up in there, that's going to be even darker right there. And I think I'm just going to keep going because this seems like a good base color for what we're going to be doing. Okay, I want to make sure that I'm not, well, I'm not going to be down here, so I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay in as far as where I am in frame. All right, so let's get a base coat under here, and it's pretty darn dark. So I know it's scary. It's really scary for me. I'm going to use raw umber extra dark. It's always, this is the hardest part about pastels sometimes for me is putting those really dark tones in because you're like, oh my God, that's not right. It's going to look terrible. And the base coat is always going to look terrible compared to everything else, especially when you've got good, you know, like nice work done already. And then you start doing this. It's like, what am I doing? Actually, I think I'm going to blend. Okay, so that saved not only time, but pencils. Alrighty. So, I want to try alright, let me take my glasses off, which I know seems counterintuitive, but I can't, having a hard time finding glasses. So this is my new, these are my new Caran D'Ache ones. So this is Light Flesh 10%. I don't think I'm quite ready for that one yet though. Anyway, for glasses, they're great for just everyday work and everyday seeing things, and I can see things up close if I need to, and I can see things far away if I need to. But when it comes to working at my easel, working at my table and doing art, I can't stand wearing them. I have to take them off because I can see better without them. I want to be careful that this doesn't turn green, and this feels kind of greeny. So I'm going to put down some, again, this color confuses me. They call it raw umber, but it looks like burnt umber to me. It's very warm, so I don't know why they would call it raw umber, because raw umber to me has always been a greeny brown. Yeah, I don't know. So let's see. Now, I like how soft these are. They really, and I thankfully didn't have any problem sharpening them with the knife, so that's good. Okay, this still needs to be quite a bit darker. But it kind of has an orangey feel to it, so I'm looking for there we go. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of dark sepia in here. Okay, and then all of this is really quite just dark, like dark sepia and a light color. Maybe this Light Flesh 5%. I maybe should have done a different color. I don't like the underbase that I used at all. so it doesn't look like what it looks like in the pan. It's too light. So I will just use the dark sepia Pitt. Start there. All right, let's try this light flesh. Now these hairs seem to be a little bit longer. Turning my pencil as I go. I think I like this, the way it's coming out. All right, I think also what I want to do is get a little bit of measurement going here for the edge of this stuff. So I think I'll use this point because I know that that's pretty accurate. So it kind of comes up, looks like a little bit up to, and then this will be really dark. It almost looks like right in line with that line right there is kind of the heavy point, where the dark really, and then it thins out a little bit. So it's heaviest. Kind of in here. Doing this now helps me not get carried away and kind of helps me know where I'm at, when I'm working. Since we covered up a lot of stuff with the pans. Okay, so that's the dark point. Is that right? I think so. I think so. All right, so this gets softened. I can always darken it more if I need to. Okay, so this actually maybe comes down even a little bit further. We'll call that good. All right, let's keep going here. So during the break between the two videos, I realized that I had been using some colors that are not very light fast. So I decided to just start researching that a little bit more. Not that I haven't already, and I actually have them written on my chart. But when I'm working, you know, I don't think about that stuff. I'm like, ooh, grab this color, that's pretty. Ooh, this color will work. And so there were some colors that I used that are not light fast. One of the ones was that violet that I used in the ear. It's a small enough amount that I don't think that it's going to be a problem, and I am not going to worry about it. I just want you guys to be aware of that. If you're doing, if you happen to be doing commissions, or you're doing a piece that's going to be hanging somewhere in your home where there's a lot of, you know, a lot of light, you want to be careful about that. I've decided, since so much of what I'm doing lately are commissions, that I'm going to go through all of my, it breaks my heart, but I'm going to have to do it. I have all of my pencils swatched by brand, and then by, you know, and by color. But I went through my Carbothellos, and I was like freaking out at how many of them are have a really low light fast rating, which is really, I don't get it. Like, I'm kind of feeling like I want to yell at the manufacturers of the pencils and say, you're making pencils for artists. Why are you even putting non-light fast pencils in your sets? I just, like, I cannot even understand that at all. That was the Light Flash 10%. That, it kind of bugs me. So anyway, I'm afraid, because when I'm working, you know, I'm not concentrating so hard on, you know, which ones are light fast and which ones aren't. I'm just grabbing the colors that I think would look really nice, and I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to do that. So I'm going to wind up having to, this is Caput Mortem Violet. I'm going to wind up having to I'm so bummed about this. I'm going to have to number all my pencils and just take out the ones that are not light fast. And I will probably rearrange them then next time, not by brand, but only by color. Just put all my brands of greens that are light fast together. And so on and so forth that way, because I started looking at the Pitt pastel light fast colors, and like 80% of their greens have a terrible light fast rating. It's like, what the hell? Yeah, it doesn't compute in my brain why they would do that. Thankfully, I did discover that the Derwent greens are all very good light, have very good light fast ratings. So it looks like I'll be placing another order for more pencils. And then I don't know what I'm going to do with the ones that aren't light fast. But it's kind of like a lesson learned. Like, I don't know that I'm going to buy, well, I've already pretty much bought the full sets of what's available. So at this point now, it's going to be, yeah, if it's not light fast, I am just not going to be buying it, because I don't want to do a piece and then have that piece, you know, fade over time. That would stink. So there you go. Now, if all I was going to be doing was doing original pieces and then making prints out of them and selling the prints, then that probably wouldn't be an issue, but that's not what I do. So, thankfully, most of the colors that I do pet portraits with are light fast. But I did just, you know, there are a few, and it's like, well, man. So now I have to redo things, which is kind of a bummer. This is, again, the Caran D'Ache. Which one is this? 10%. I like this one. It's got that yellow color that I was kind of looking for over here that I couldn't find. I like it. And it just occurred to me that I did not check the light fastness on the Caran D'Ache pencils, which was stupid. But this isn't a commission piece. This is just for me, and my house is pretty, it's pretty dark. I don't have a very well lit house, so I'm not going to worry about it. But something to be aware of is the light fastness of stuff. So, okay. So I need to get some dark up in there still. And up in here. So this is the dark sepia. Let's come up here and work up here a little bit. I like how soft and fluffy this is. Might be time to change. Let's see, let's use the burnt ochre to kind of over that. And a little bit of dark sepia. No, I think something a little bit lighter than that. Beaster. We'll do Beaster. And some of these have some more dark. And also some kind of long dark hairs kind of coming off there. All right, I think I want to switch to the ivory Carbothello. That actually comes. Let's do a couple more. All right, and I think I'm going to add, this is the raw umber. I'm going to add just a little bit of that in here. And this might be just a little bit too pronounced here, so I'm going to soften it a bit with this. That's better. Okay. Kind of like that. So let's I think that that's dark enough. I'm going to pull my reference photo up a little bit so that it's a little bit more in the center of the frame. I love my magnets for for this reason. They're really handy. I can put my piece kind of wherever I want it on the I'm feeling really good about this right now, you guys. I gotta admit. It's always so much more fun when when your piece is turning out the way you had hoped. I'm just gonna sharpen this a little bit, give this a little bit more point. This is my ivory Carbothello. All right, I'm going to work over here a little bit. So the way that this looks to me, it almost looks to me like I need to do some more of that clumpy kind of hair. So I'm going to work in some V's. And then if we blend it out and put a few more random ones on there, I think that will give us the look that we want. This is interesting. They come out, kind of fade. Now this is, I was thinking that this was going to blend with the color underneath, but it's not. It needs to be a lot more orangey. But I'm thinking that maybe glazing the color over the top might be okay. So I'm going to keep going with this. Because I don't know if I have... Well, we could try dark flesh tint in the Carbothellos. All right, let's just try a little bit of that and see what it... See, it's not showing up. It's too dark, but it might be a nice one to glaze over. It's a little bit lighter than the... All right, so we're just going to keep going with what... I'm just going to keep going with what I was doing. And I'll get this down. I'll glaze some orangey colors over the top. And then I'll... just do some single lines. Sorry. All right, I think we can. This is crazy hair going all over the place here. Okay, let's just come straight down. That a little bit, kind of push in my fingers. I think I'm going to use this dark flesh tint and just kind of glaze some color over the top of that. It needs some black in there, so let's do that first. Either black or dark sepia, maybe dark sepia. Sometimes I don't know exactly what I need to do until I start doing it. So I don't know. You actually want V's to go in the opposite direction with your dark. This is going to be the case of more colors that are better. The more colors I use, the more it's going to look like it's supposed to. Okay, this is the 10% Caran D'Ache 10%. might go darker in there, I think. Okay. Let's do some. These are. Make sure I come out and cover up that green. You don't need my hair in there. These to be really fine because they're fine black hairs. And then this. Okay, we're in good shape here. Let's get this darker color in here. And since I have it in my hand, let's go ahead and get this a little darker. This is dark sepia, not black. It's pretty good. Okay, now I want to get some of these hairs looking more random and even shorter. The hair is kind of going every which way. Right here, so I don't want them to be all going in the same direction. That doesn't look natural. Just curious. Wonder if I do that. I really want to try and make sure that the hair color does not look white, that it looks very orangey. But I don't really have an orangey color that will show up. So I'm trying to see if I can get it to blend. This almost needs some caput. That might be too red. Let's see, caput mortem. Red. No, let's try caput mortem violet. Where is that? It's just such a yummy color. It just works with everything, and it looks so beautiful with oranges. Because purples, it's kind of purpley colored, and purples look good with oranges. Okay, now let's try. All right, let me just take a second to double check that I don't have something I can use. What about cinnamon? Cinnamon's in the pits is not, is pretty light fast. Wonder if that will work. We're going to try this. So this is Pitt Cinnamon, which is $1.89. Just kind of for this one little area here because it's quite red. Now I need something a little bit lighter. I want it to show up a little bit more. I wonder if I should try, oh, this is one of those non-light fast colors, isn't it? Nope, this one's good. Yay! Okay. Don't want to use too much of it. Let's finish up over here, I think. So I want to blend this a little bit. Just soften it a little bit. And we'll go back to this is the dark flesh tint. This gets very complicated. It's not really the word, but man, there's so much like going on in there. Darks and lights and different directions. Oh, that's not bad. So what do we do down here? This is the ivory. Know that I like that. Let's put a little bit of the burnt ochre over the top. Soften that down a little bit. Dark sepia. Looks like it needs to be a little bit heavier right here. Now I have to kind of figure out how I'm going to want to handle the this part of the body. As you can, well, maybe you can't see. You can see how it's really out of focus here, and it slowly gets more in focus. I'm not sure if that's what I want to do or not. I might want it to be a little bit more in focus, but I'll know better when I start working on it. I'm pretty happy with this. Yeah, I feel good about that. I don't know. I don't think it needs any more dark. Right there, I think we're good. There's some areas here that look quite a bit lighter. And there's maybe not enough definition, sort of. I don't know. Something in here is not quite right. But it needs to be lighter at the same time. So I'm going to try. I think that's okay. All right, I'm going to turn the camera off, get kind of ready to work on the next area. And by that I mean kind of pull out the colors that I want to use, make sure that they're light fast, and just kind of, I'm just going to kind of clean up around here a little bit. I just got a wild hair though, and I just want to see, since I have it in front of me, this is that new pastel, Prismacolor new pastel. Boy, we can get, look how much brighter we can get that flower. Like the light is, you know, hitting it. I like it better already. Okay. Anywhere else that it needs that little pop? It actually, there's a, I'm gonna do that, make a flower petal forward. Good, okay. All right, so I will just turn off and I will be back in a flash. Alrighty then, let's keep going and see how far we can get. So as I was looking at this, I realized that I needed to increase his the curve of his shoulders. So I lifted that up a little bit so you can see what that looks like. I put a little bit more tape back on here just to keep that line straight, and it's purely for my just because the mat that this will that will cover this is going to cover up any mess anyway, but it was just me being anal. So all right, I want to do a little bit of, I think, this warm gray, but maybe a little bit more. Let's try warm gray 4 right here. And then this is the Caran D'Ache 5%, light flesh 5%. Okay, so this dark spot, this dark line is kind of right in here. Okay, and then I think some let's go back to that dark flesh tint a little bit. Okay. Now the question is, do I go with a mid-tone down there, like a gray? I think I might go with a mid-tone gray. Oh, in the PanPastels. Let me grab a different applicator here. This one will work. Okay, so neutral, I've got neutral gray, and I've got neutral gray extra dark. So I'm thinking that I'm probably going to just combine those on the brush a little bit. Still making sure that I'm going in the direction of the fur. Oh, now I have to decide when to put. All right, so this is one of those points where I'm not sure what to do, because I'm going to want to put some of these little grass bits in front, and I'm also going to want to have a few coming up on top. And I honestly don't know if I should do those. Well, I'm gonna have to do them after because they're so skinny. I mean, I could draw in what I wanted, but I don't think I'd be able to work around them. So I just answered my own question, and I'm just gonna do them after and hope that they show up. So this will be, I don't know. We're gonna find out. I'm thinking that they will show up. I'm thinking it'll be fine. And I actually think I'm gonna cover as best I can. I think we're gonna do a little bit thicker. I mean, not so much that we fill the tooth of the paper, but I don't want the yellow showing from behind, so we're just gonna give this a good and maybe do I want gray or like a taupey color? What is this? This is raw umber tint. Maybe I'll use that on this very edge. It's coming out gray because I had gray on my brush, but I think that's okay. I just wanted to keep it a little bit lighter right there. That's fine. I think that that's enough. There's still some tooth showing, but we're going to be putting, this is a lighter area anyway, so I think that that's good. But look how much faster the PanPastels allows you to get that base layer down than if we had tried to do that all with color pencil, or not color pencil, with the pastel pencils. Okay, so let's throw some of this burnt ochre in here along the area where it looks a little bit orangey. If I can blend that with this, had a little bit of color on it, but and actually now that I'm thinking about it, why don't we just do that with the PanPastels? Hello. Okay, so that's better. Do a little bit of that. This was the burnt sienna shade. Get a little bit of that down. Okay, rub that in. I think I'll start with dark sepia. Actually, actually. This kind of looks like it got blurred out or something. What did I do here? I could have sworn it was dark there before. Yeah, I'm not sure what I did to, I probably just rubbed it right out when I went to, when I did that. Okay. Eek. All right, so I've gotten this to come out too far. It should be a little bit more straight down. So I'm gonna try and fix that a little bit here. Well, it's not great, but it's not bad either. Okay. This is, I feel like, is going to be the most challenging part for me because because we're kind of working in with it just being blurry, and maybe it won't be. Maybe I'll wind up putting color down, blending it out, and it'll wind up looking just the way I want it to. I don't know. This is gonna have to get glazed over. I'm not quite sure how to get that color. That was I put gray down to start, and then that didn't look right. Don't know why I'm working over here when I should be working over here, because I'm just going to get my hands in it, although the edge of the easel is doing a pretty good job of keeping my hand off, so hopefully that will work. Okay, let's try warm gray 4. It's not showing up very much, but that's kind of okay, I think. I think I'm going to work in sort of small I don't know. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just winging it here, trying to figure out how to do this. So okay, question is then, do I want to put the dark colors in first or last? So if I go first, just doing a little test here. If I go first, then I can come in and do the light on top. And I think it will look fine. So I think I'm going to do dark colors first. So that other one wasn't dark enough. This is warm gray 5, which is, I have no idea what number that is because the number is worn off of the pencil, which is poor design on, in my opinion, but there it is. This is going to work out just fine. This is maybe not the most fun part because it is kind of repetitive. But I think it'll be good. And we may wind up putting our lights on after this, and then actually coming in with an even darker tone and putting that in between some spots. I'm thinking though that just so that I don't get bored out of my mind, I might work in sections again. You know, come in and do some other stuff other than just this. Although if we get this, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just keep going with this. And then if you want to, you can like speed through this part. Because this is all I'm doing. And then you can get to the good stuff. Because really, in actuality, it's probably only going to take me 5 minutes. It just feels like forever. But if we hadn't put the PanPastel down first, this would take forever. In fact, I might even do some darker right now. So, do we do some black? Let's try it. So I am, as I'm doing this, I'm trying not to make every single hair going in the exact same position. In other words, I don't want all the hairs to be exactly parallel to each other. I want some movement of the hair. All right, let's try some warm gray 4. I might even want to do some brown. Let's see about some brown. You know what, I'm going to do some brown first. So this is raw umber in Carbothello. I want to make sure that I keep this area right in here still warm and need to think about what's going to happen down here. Let me get some of this in here. We're back to warm gray 5. This is all going to get blended out, and I don't even think you'll see it, so that's all right. Let's do some brown. So we're going to blend this out quite a bit. Okay. Back to warm gray 4. Experimenting a little bit because I can see that this definitely needs to be darker. I just want to double check that I'm doing these in the order that I want to be doing them in. Yeah, I'm going to put some more, I'm going to put this dark sepia in. Kind of feel like I want to put the greens in so I know where, but I don't think I want as much green as is in this photo. I think I want them to be more loose. More like these, where there's just a few of them. So I need to make sure that the fur goes all the way down and covers everything. So thank you for letting me talk that out loud, figure out what I wanted. So definitely more dark needs to come down. But I like this dark sepia as opposed to black. I'm not in frame. Hang on. There you go. Okay. Dark flesh tint. Maybe burnt ochre instead. Oh, of course. Nope, we're not using burnt ochre. Darn, I just don't understand. It does not compute to me that this one has a crummy light fast and this one has a good light fast. It just, I don't understand how that, just don't understand it. Don't get it. I grasp the concept of like reds and purples and pinks tending to be more, what do they call it? There's a word for that. I can't think of it at the moment. But less light fast is basically what I get that. What I don't get is when pencils that are so similar in color can have such different light fast ratings. And I definitely don't understand how one company can have great light fast greens and another company have terrible light fast greens. It's like, I don't understand it. Okay, warm gray 3. Let's do some of this. The softening between layers is what gets you that really nice fluffy look. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it as blurred out as the reference photo. But when you're doing fur, you get your base layers down, then you start doing your second layers, and you blur those out. Not to the point where everything is completely blended, but to where it's all soft and blurred, and then you add another layer. And with each subsequent layer, you do less and less blending until you get to the point where your fur looks nice and fluffy, and your lower layers are more blurred out, and your top layers, which is usually your lightest color, where the light source hits, is a little bit more defined. And I actually really like this better than I like this, so that's a good thing. It's always better to be happy with your work than wish that it looked different. Kind of turning my pencil as I'm doing this, which helps to keep the fur strokes thin and clean, but also helps to make my strokes be much more erratic and keep me from getting all in the same direction, parallel, having all the fur be parallel to each, which we don't, that's what we don't want. So turn it in your fingers, turn it one way and the other way. Keep kind of rotating the direction that you're stroking, and your hairs will then kind of go in all different directions. Kind of tempted to put a little bit of a sharper point on this, although I'm not sure that it will really make that much difference. So I'm really not using my reference photo anymore at this point. Because I like what I'm doing better for my painting of what I wanted. So you could probably take it away. Alrighty. Will I bother taking it away? I guess I can. Time being. All right. So make sure that I cover up that line between the background and the rabbit. I wonder what the definition is between a hare and a rabbit, or if they're the same exact thing, just different words. I never really, like when I think of hares, I think of rabbits that have longer ears. But I don't know if that's correct or not. All right. I want to keep this warm, but I think that this gray needs to go over the top of it. Now that I'm not using a reference photo. Blend this out, though. Don't forget to blend this out. I'm going to go back over that again with some more. I'm just winging it now. There it is right there. So I'm going to do a little bit more of this. I've got to blend that out or do something there because that's not soft enough. All right, blend all of this. All right, so let's switch to, yeah, I do want my reference photo in here. It's like my my crutch. All right, so now I'm switching to the ivory. And I want to do the same thing here. Turn your pencil. That keeps your stroke thinner and keeps it from being too similar to the strokes beside it. Okay, so in the reference photo, there's a spot that's really quite dark that I keep managing to cover up. I don't know how necessary it is. But I want it there because it adds more of the lights and the darks. Which, yeah, see, that looks better already. It's not quite in the right spot. I think like this has quite the defined, line of body, like where the body is forward. Words are hard. You know what I mean. Okay, now, even though that was defined, I don't like the way it, I want to put some, it's not quite the same, but I don't care. Because I'm not doing the body the same as in the photos, so. Although I am going to soften it more, I think, than I'm going to soften up here so that it's kind of out of focus, but not as out of focus as the photo. And it kind of looks like I need to add some more dark in here if I want it to be, you know, if I want it to be similar to the photo. We need to get some more dark in. And those lights and darks are what make the images look more interesting. So let's see what happens if I can always come over it again with even more lights afterwards, just to break up the black if there's too much. And I'm using black and not the dark sepia because I like the softness of the Carbothello pencil. I don't think that I will have as easy time with the Pitt. So that's why. I like it. I like the darker in here. I think this is just now about kind of just layering and layering until you get it the way you want it, because I'm not doing anything brilliant. It's just because with each layer that you do, dark to light, light to dark, you know, adding, taking away, you're adding dark, you're adding light, you're adding dark again. It's layer upon layer upon layer, and it just keeps creating more and more depth. let's try some of this Caran D'Ache Light Flesh 10%. It's really soft, so you got to be careful not to get the line too thick. So I'm barely touching, and I'm trying to twist while I'm barely holding the pencil. But I'm thinking that I want this little section right here that's kind of more orangey to have this kind of more orangey color as the highlight. So I want to start being careful about blending out too much now, because we're kind of getting there, at least up there. Down here looks like it needs a little bit more work of some kind. Yeah, boy, these Caran D'Ache pencils are so soft that if you press too hard, you definitely get a thicker line. I don't want that. I want this to be really fine. Okay, let's work this a little bit. This is Warm Gray 5, and all I'm doing, I don't even know that I want anything to be defined down here. It's kind of blurring things out, which is okay, because we're going to put some grass on there anyway. I want to kind of soften the black that I have down here. Actually, I think we need some more light now. Right here. So this is the ivory. Yep, ivory. I'm going to put it over here too, I think. I might be ready to start adding, trying to add some of the details in the grass, and maybe that'll be like the last video. Maybe we'll end this one. I was thinking maybe I would be able to get it done in this one last video, but I don't think so, because then I'll be rushing, and I don't want to rush through it. I want it to be good. All right, I'm tempted to throw some light. Okay, good. So this one is still good and light fast. I'm going to put a little bit of yellow in here. Because I like how it looks. I like the purple, yellow, and orange tones. In here, and I want to break up this. Okay, what did I do? Oh, sorry. I want to break up this a little bit. All right, so I just want to kind of look, this bit right here is not bad. I think we need a little bit more dark, that Caput Mortuum, if I can find it. This is the dark flesh. And I probably want to sharpen this dark sepia to a nice sharp point. And again, let's just do a couple. And I still need to do, well, I still need to do a lot of stuff. I still need to do the whiskers and the greens and stuff. Let's move this up a little bit. Oops, sorry, don't mean to have to do that. All right, so I'm pretty happy about this right now. So I think I'm going to end there. I think I'm pretty, the fur is good. So on the next and last video, we'll redefine some of these grasses that need some work. We might add a few more. I'll have to hopefully not mess it up in adding some grasses in front of him. Just a few, I think. And then I think it'll be done. So, yay. Right. Well, thanks for hanging in there with me. I know this wasn't like the most exciting of things to watch. So hopefully, you know, you learned something, or you took something away to help you in your own art. So that is it. I could just pick and play for hours. Yeah, I could. All right, guys, thank you so much. Until I see you again, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Happy arting, happy coloring. Bye.